This leads. In an exclusive interview with eNCA, Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene says there are no funds available to increase the offer in the Eskom wage dispute. He's in London for an investor roadshow as South Africa attempts to raise foreign investment. Solidarity says Nene's comments are unfortunate, especially since talks are ongoing. eNCA's Olly Barratt spoke to the minister.
You returned to London with that 100 billion target in mind. How optimistic are you, given the meetings you're having here, that that is achievable?
Well, I'm still very optimistic. The conversations that we have had with investors, though mainly portfolio investors that we're talking to, but they actually are quite positive because it's important for us that they appreciate our openness in discussing policy developments back in South Africa, because it's important for them to keep their finger on the pulse.
Given the RAND's difficult period, let's call it, in recent weeks, and what you've described as a challenging period for the South African economy, how does that feed into your meetings here?
Look, that's as I said earlier, that has not been a vexing question with the type of investors we're talking to. But from our side, one of the things we normally do in times like this is to see how best we could also take advantage of a weak rand. For instance, beefing up our exports, as you would know. It's for that reason that we're talking to some of those investors who are in the export business, motor manufacturers, our agricultural producers, and look at how best we could actually take advantage of that weak currency. We think it comes with its own positives as well, other than just being a challenge.
You talked as well about how South Africa had more buffers at the time of the 2008 financial crisis, and you'd like to work back into that position of strength. If there were to be a major global economic crisis now, is South Africa in a strong position to weather it?
Look, we are a bit we're a bit vulnerable this time around, but I think with the economic structural reforms that we're putting in place, we are beginning to build those buffers, because that is our primary focus.
With regards to the Eskom standoff and the unions asking for more money, does that money even exist?
Well, the money doesn't exist, but what exists is goodwill and political will also to have an honest and open, frank discussion on how best we could take this forward in the interest of South Africa.
And finally, anyone who works in your sphere who visits the UK at the moment has to be asked about Brexit. What's your view of Britain's ongoing negotiations with the European Union and where that might all leave the South Africa-Britain economic relationship?
I think we are in a situation where, one, we have to monitor the situation quite openly. And I was very encouraged yesterday when I listened to Mark Carney talking after the MPC, what Britain is doing. And it seems like, Britain is actually putting in place, measures to be able to manage this, and I think we should also align ourselves with what is currently underway in the UK, but also in the individual countries who are members of the European Union.